Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Hogan from Jeffersonville, Indiana, bringing your midday grain comments for Thursday, May 5th, 2016. Fairly ugly day at the Board of Trade today, showing corn down 2 pennies, beans down 20 cents, and wheat off 7 cents. Most of this looks like it's being driven. We ran at that 1060 resistance on the continuation chart a couple of sessions ago, and have really fallen off since. We're down around the 1010 area off of July futures. That's roughly a 23% retracement of the move up. The 38% and 50% retracement are respectively at the 971 and the 948 marks. Those could certainly be additional downside targets if one wants to force the issue. Others may be looking at an uptrend line if you are a chartist. Those come into play depending on where you draw them, right around the 940 mark. So those are all some downside objectives that one could look at in the correction from kind of this wild move that we've seen up over the last 30, 45 days or so. Corn's been following along, just not to the extent. We're showing corn, we're just bouncing slightly off the 370 mark. Again, that's still down 2 pennies. Looks like for the time being that is holding. As we fast forward to the wheat chart, many folks are hoping that's not what the corn chart starts to look like here in the next couple of days. It broke through its medium-term resistance, which again for corn was at 370. Wheat is now looking like it's going to be hunting for some of its most recent lows around the 452 and 442 areas at this point. So again, that looks to be the case. Export sales for the most part were ho-hum today, nothing major to really speak about. The other major news that we're seeing is the hard wheat tour is wrapping up here today. Looks like the camp could average of about 48.6 bushels per acre over in the hard wheat country. That compares to 35.6 last year, so quite the jump. We'll call it roughly 13 bushels or so. Probably the one thing to note is that acres in that area are down about 700,000 acres or so. So, even though we had the yield jump, it still would amount to quite as much as what we saw last year. We had similar yields, but still quite the haul for those guys out there if the indeed ends up coming to fruition. Last year, I think we had about a 37 bushel per acre average when it actually came off. So these estimates do tend to be fairly close. If you kind of add all this up, and depending on what the other wheat classes do, we could envision a 1 billion bushel plus wheat ending stock. So I think that's certainly been driving the futures at this point in time. And probably the question to be looked at is, will wheat continue to price itself more as a wheat, or will it start to go as a feed class asset, more or less competing with corn for demand usage, especially with that ending stock number potentially pushing over that 1 billion bushel mark. So something to keep an eye on. Otherwise, that's it for the major news today. We've got a USDA report out next Tuesday. But for now, I think this is how it looks like we're going to close out. Again, this is Mike Hogan. All the opinions expressed here are my own and not those of CGB Enterprises or any of its affiliated companies. Thanks. Have a great day.